Hang on, I think I'm on here. Hello, people. How are yous? Bear with me, I get through the usual here. So, where are we? Hello, everybody, if you're watching. I'll get to the wee chat in a minute. Firstly, I'll say... Oh, still getting messages coming through this phone. I've just switched it back on again. Nope. So anyway, if anybody wants to join, the usual, same again, the 10-minute thing. If you're talking shit, I'm not going to sit and listen to you for any longer than 10 minutes. Might be harsh to some people, but it's the way it has to be. If you want to come in, send a mail to nocurve@gmx.com, or you can phone in or text. The number is 0739 365 4544 and come and say whatever you like. So, a couple of points. Hang on. Just bear with me. I'm still seeing comments filing up here. Obviously, the wee video yesterday kind of bothered a few people. Same people, and it's funny. Schizophrenia, schizophrenics will say things like, oh, I can fly and there's people and, imagine a schizophrenic being interviewed and, them asking, you think you can fly and, you're talking to these strange beings. Do you think you could show me and then we won't think you're mentally ill? No, I need another world. If I had another world, I could show you. So these people, I think they are seriously mentally ill. They're still trying to deny the water thing, which is absolutely astounding. I'm dumbfounded at the stupidity of these people to still come and say gravity or some other nonsense. But anyway, what other point did I want to bring up? I had a notification here from the troll, the lickspittle known as Timmy Osmond. Now, I'm going to read this wee message here because, hang on, my batteries again. This chappie was harassing and annoying me to have a private chat with me. So I did have a private chat with him, thinking that he might be different, but he wasn't. But at the start of the conversation, I says to him, I'll speak to you in private. I'm going to record it and I'm going to ask you to agree, that it doesn't be used for anything. You said you're a man of your word and all this stuff. And lo and behold, he sent a message, fuck you, this and that. I'm going to put it up. And, well, here's the thing, wee man, put it up. There's absolutely nothing in it apart from me laughing at you and your fucking stupidity, right? And I hope you leave the bit. And if you don't, I'll put it up. About you being honourable and all this fucking nonsense, and then saying, oh, you've got young kids, take care of yourself and all this fucking veiled nonsense crap. This is a level they're starting to get to. I even had one of them inboxing my 15-year-old daughter on Facebook. That's how fucking sad they're getting and how desperate they are. They're really showing their true colours now. But we know that's going to happen. You need to expect it. So, hello everybody in chat. Who have we got? Mark H, On a Plane, Marco Lower, Adam H, Anti-Gravity, Danny Forestwater, Jonah Worms, how you doing? Tone Overdrive, Louis, Adam Eves, hurry up Dale. I was on time tonight. Tom Corner, JLo 1982, Magumba, how you doing? Eternal Padawan, Ryan Sea Level, Uppercut, We Cut People, It's Not What It Seems, Yorkshire Last Tracy, how you doing? Anyway, not going to keep going through them, as usual. It skips. So, aye, as I say, this is the tactics now of these people. And that pissed them off yesterday, the simplicity of it. Again, people think, oh, you just talk about water. Well, I went through the whole lot. I analysed the globe, had to get through everything myself in order to see if I could find any proof. And when I went through both sides, or anybody's claims, for me, that one natural element is the most accurate tool that anybody has. There is nothing that anybody can argue against it, by way of practical example and actually showing it. They can argue it with sophism, equations, and big long-winded text and images. That's about it. So, hang on. I'll start reading the messages soon enough. So again, if you want to come in and say something, I'm not going to sit here speaking to myself. nocurve@gmx.com. And I've also got a wee video that somebody had sent me of a sun going away and it's shrinking. It was quite interesting. I'll see if when Marshall appears, if he can screen share it.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, you're there, mate?
Yeah.
How are you, all right?
Oh, fair play, indeed. A bit of early trollage this evening. That's unusual.
Was it?
And here they come again. Look. The video's up on the other channel, though, on the activism channel. I can find it and screen share it if you like.
Aye, go for it, mate. Well, you don't need to do it right now. I mean, just whenever suits. We'll get a point where.
All right. I've got somebody asking for a link already. I don't know whether you want to go straight into that this evening or.
Aye, just whatever, mate. Go for it. See, I'm going to be finishing sharp tonight. I want to get finished for before 10 o'clock. So.
Okay, link out.
Sloppy comforts in the face of flat Earth. Wow, this is the extremes that they're getting. Aye. So there's been some great videos on up recently. It's great to see so many people coming forward. I'll just declare again, flat Earth here is an ongoing investigation. It's not a claim to know anything. It's no, we don't represent any maps and models that the people like to push out there and get you to defend their straw man. That is a straw man. Here, it's an ongoing investigation. People here realise that the globe is not real, and we want to push to find out exactly where we are. Barbie Miguel, how you doing? I seen the nonsense on your hangout last night. Another example of people who think they've got the right to control other people and that they're some sort of saviours going about. Internet saviours. We have so many of these. They talk about cult mentality, yet these globe cult people, the disciples, jump about everybody's hangout, causing shit and, demanding that everybody believes they're cult. It's an example of extreme insecurity and people who have something to hide. And they're too stupid to realise that their behaviour tells you that. So, tell you to distill your tap water, I sure do. Yeah. Oh, shit. I don't know where it went. This guy sure loves the dark. Well, it's Scotland. It's only 20 to 8 at night. It really shouldn't be this dark. I'm not sure if there's actually something wrong with this camera tonight. It seems a wee bit blue. But fuck it. You can see me, you can hear me. It's not about me, remember. So I'm not really getting much to say to you tonight because I wasn't prepared. I've been kind of busy. The only thing I can talk about is yesterday in the wee video that I put up where the wee man displayed natural common sense, logic, reasoning and an understanding of the reality that he's in when he pointed to the objects and says they don't have holes in them. Right? Even at that young age, they get that the exterior objects don't hold water. And it does not matter, I'm going to reiterate it and I'm going to keep going over it. It doesn't matter how slight you want to make the curve or how big you want to make the ball. You're expecting a body of water to display convexity when you know it's just going to keep collapsing in on itself. So if the globe or the potato was really true, the oceans would be flat and they would be like, it's just that mind-boggling. You can't even fit the oceans on it. And I'm going to do another example, as I keep saying, I'm going to set out a wee model using the actual elements of reality and I'm going to show how I can hold the water, and then I'm going to do it for the lazy globe believers out there who are too fucking bone-idle and lazy to actually put together an actual model with their Earth prized of the elements and show how the water behaves on it. And again, people think that it's too simplistic. It is simple. We're talking about the objective reality that we all share here. As soon as somebody tells you that they need 5 books and their priestly figure in order to explain it and that you should just believe them, you know that you're being it's a cult, a religion that is trying to recruit you. So if I tell you I've got a unicorn and I don't show you, you know I'm a fucking fruitcake. End of story. So who else have we got here? Right, I'll just read out some text messages from people just now. Remember, you can phone the number if you like. Alright, Flatman, lol, how's tricks, bud? Loving the vids, would love to get a roll-up and a chat with you, bud. Me, you in the garage, mind, when I seen your Doug, it's Skivvy, Kieran, keep up my number, give me a shout sometime when you're free, bud. Talk about Dougs and no curve. Not got a webcam, so that's how I've never jumped into a hangout, bud. A few years ago, got into this watching Eric Dubai, thought it was a lot of shite, but when you try to debunk it, you end up down the rabbit hole and realise there's something not right and we are being lied to on a massive scale. Can you point me in the right direction as to what to watch on YouTube? As there's a lot of pish out there. Plus, can he go, that Eric Dubai's voice, man, he's on point, but his voice, doesn't like his voice. Got nobody to vent to or talk ideas, etc. with, as all my friends and family think I'm a loon. From one flatman to another, peace out, bro. I do remember you, mate. Any time at all, you've got the number. So, as far as directing anybody to any videos, what I would try and direct people is to understand what science actually is, to research that for yourself, to research things like the trivium, how logic, rhetoric, grammar, reasoning works, how their argumentations work, how they put them together, because it's basically a psychological game that's going on. But really, you'll get information in regards to contradictions in the globe model by, watching videos. But if you want to really understand it and get to the nut and bolts of it, you need to understand what science actually is, the subdivisions of it and how to separate. And then you have a clearer picture, of what you're actually dealing with. So when I say natural science, we talk about the natural world where things have to have, be actually tangible. You have to be able to touch it, taste it, smell it, measure it, observe it, repeat, recreate, things like mathematics being a formal science because it's a language, it can be manipulated. You can prove things true in a mathematical sense that don't match observable reality. So really, I would do a bit of digging around about that kind of stuff. And obviously, there's so many now on YouTube. It'd be unfair of me just to mention a couple. Phuket Word's a good one. My perspective used to be, look, this is what I mean. There's so many. I don't want to start, in case I miss anybody out and hurt anybody's feels, So just keep looking. You'll find it. So anytime, Gibby, anytime at all, mate. Hey Dale, Adam, Eves, Oma, could you mention to the viewers to phone up their local radio stations? I've been having an in-depth conversations with the staff of these stations and they are all aware of the Flat Earth Awakening. Great show, man. Keep her lit. Nice one, Adam. Again, it's activism. I know for a fact they will know about it because it is getting everywhere. And there's people coming out of the woodwork left, right and centre. As I say, there's somebody else who I know from social circles who is aware of it. And again, by us getting into places like university campuses, that's going to get spoke about, that's going to be noted. And then we're outside the BBC station, in between the BBC broadcasting, or BBC Alba, and the Scottish Science Centre, which is in Glasgow. We've done interviews there. So people talk, things get about, it's everywhere. So the more that you harass these people and get them to, start addressing it, the better, because they're going to have to address it. And it's better that we're forcing it than they do it when they decide. It's the people that need to demand to start being heard. Then over here, how's it going, mate? I need someone to talk to about this flat earth stuff. My name's Ricky, half Irish, half English. Have you got time to speak with me? Cheers. Well, I will have. If you want to speak to me in private, you can send me a wee message and we can arrange to have a chat. If you don't want to come on live, I totally understand that. But, the option's there if you want to come in and say what you've got to say. You don't have to show your face. You can switch the camera off. And if you do want to join, it's nocurve@gmx.com. Neil deGrasse says there, a pear shape. Why is no one making this point more? Well, there is. Many people make that point, to be honest with you. Every picture of globe is perfect sphere. Why is no one attacking this? It's a massive point. The pictures of Earth should show a pear shape. Yeah, well, people do pick up on that and people are aware of that point. Again, it just gets ignored by those that claim it. But for me, again, it comes down to, images and pictures from institutions are not even relevant. Why is the curvature math given by NASA for a sphere if the Earth's a pear shape? The math would be different or that. I have loads of good thoughts, but they come randomly. Well, keep it up, Ricky, and thanks for messaging in. Good morning, Dale. Steve here again, Scotland Truth Movement. That Cody's Lab just uploaded another video. This time a response to about 600 emails from Flat Earther. So he claims. Anyway, here's the link below. I seen that and I left a message on his observation through the camera. When he talks, and he continues to talk about the sea level and blah, 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 and he's missing the point. He's using a man-made instrument and he's got a natural element right in front of him that he's ignoring, or he's just not, thought about it. So I left a comment, needless to say, it's went ignored. But these people will ignore it if it contradicts. If it's not giving them bias towards the belief that they already have, then they will ignore it and try and find some sort of excuse. When I'm simply pointing out, look, you're observing over a body of water. The body of water is not flowing; it is standing still. It is level. It doesn't have a hump in it. There is no curvature over water on Earth ever. So Cody's Lab, unless he addresses it and starts to realise the truth of his reality, we'll see. You've got to give people a bit of space for the emotional turmoil that sets in from having, a deep-rooted belief questioned. And I understand it because I was one of these people. And again, something that they like to forget, you're not born from an egg. Claiming the Earth's not a globe, I believed it deep-rootedly like everybody else. Hey Dale, Joe QE here. I just watched your new vid and wanted to send a personal message since coming into the Flat Earth reality. There are very few people who I agree with. Well, I'm not going to read it out, Joe, just to respect, you're saying it's a personal message, so I'll read it later. This is not my personal number. That's a different phone. I just use it for this, and when I'm finished, I switch it off. But I'm not going to read it out, Joe. I'll read it and respond to you in private, mate. So I don't know who this is from. No, I've already read that one. For some reason, 5 red pairs and Charlie Veach seems similar to me, mate. Superats, Oakley Martin, Globebuster, etc. All viewing who's John Edinburgh piece. People are entitled to their opinions. Then there is a lot of people who are just in this for attention. It's like a subculture that's trending and they want to be popular within it. Not actually grasping the severity of the situation or what it actually means. But some people proclaim to have truth in their heart and justice and honour, and you can see through them that that's not what their drive is. Their drive is just to be relevant, to feed themselves. I don't know if they're going to be listening here, but I had a message from a Veronica who I responded to on my own phone, and I don't think you've received it, but you've sent the message again asking if you can translate some of the video stuff. So if you're listening, by all means, share whatever you like and translate whatever you like. You've had my permission. No problem, and I appreciate if you do hear this and you do the translation, that'd be great. So again, the number if you want to call or text is 07393 654 544. Marshall, have we got any links?
I've got 2 links out. Scotty Storm, I've resent the link. If you haven't received it, let me know. And the first one, Law's Nether Soul, is a no-show. So,
as I say, it doesn't matter to me. If nobody's got anything to say, I'll run it for an hour and then I'll quit it. Say whatever you like. Let's go to the chat. Vortex Kitten, how you doing? Don't know where Gav is. I've not seen him about. Marco Lowe, take your TV outside and beat it with a stick, indeed. Marshall, you need to just hold the fort for a wee second, mate. I need to go and get batteries for this.
Yeah, okay, dude. Right, peeps. Well, it's early in the evening, and again, you're stuck with me. Thanks to everybody that's submitted video for the activism channel. That's up and running now. Obviously, improvements will be made as we go. Apologies for any delay. I'll throw a link to the channel in the chat. Anybody thinks that they want something mirrored there or hosted if they don't have an account. We're just up for promoting. That's it. It's not about giving figures or anything. And you can mail direct to that channel, and it just keeps the admin a bit nice and simple. Is there no excuses? No excuses now, people. The weather is getting better. I've seen some great ideas out there. John Smith's put up another video this week that I think you'll all get a grin out of with the mystery box. And even if you've got any ideas for novel forms of activism, obviously, we'd like to hear about those as well. And if they appear suitable, then we're going to promote them so everybody gets a chance to take a hand. What do we say, Dale?
What's that, mate? What's happening?
I was just laughing about John's latest mystery box video.
Yeah.
Well, it was quite a novel idea, and I quite like people's response. I was quite intrigued by people's responses. I think that's a good social study.
As it's again, it's just using a prop in order to get the message across, and you see how it works. Same with the alien, dragging people's attention. Sorry, I've got somebody here.
Yeah, Scotty's managed to make it in. Hi, Scotty. You'll have to unmute yourself, mate.
How's it going, fellas?
How you doing, mate?
A very big fan, Del.
Cheers.
You're doing good work at the stuff you should be doing, thank God. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. How are you? You good?
Yeah, mate, love your accent. Yeah, my background's Scottish. Have you heard of the clan name Macintosh?
Macintosh, yeah, I know that name, yeah.
Yeah, Scottish name. Believe it or not, the name's Scott Peter Macintosh. Very Scottish, I reckon.
Yeah. Sometimes people think when you're from Scotland, we all live in these clans and live in the mountains.
Yeah, I love Braveheart. Favourite movie ever, mate.
Cool.
Do you live around Glasgow?
Yeah, I live right next to Glasgow Airport.
True.
So Paisley. It's just along from Glasgow. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So would you say you're from Australia?
Australia, Melbourne, Australia.
Cool. So how's things? How are you on the whole the Earth's not a globe situation?
Pretty. What's the best way to say it? Pretty convinced it's definitely not a round spinning ball, mate. I would love for them with the ISS or the Hubble telescope to take a picture of Earth of Australia upside down.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how they can come up with that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Maybe give some real evidence or proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not going to be able to produce any evidence or proof because we know it's not a sphere. Yeah, but for comedians,
the saddest thing is, constantly when I'm trying to debate with Globers, that they eventually just shut down. Like, not only can they not argue any points, but they can't even provide any evidence to believe what they actually believe. So it's like, if you can't give me even one reason why you believe what you believe, why do you believe it?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the reason why they have to condition us at such an early age in school to make us believe this garbage is it's so ridiculous. That's why Why?
No.
If it was apparent the Earth was a round spinning ball, you wouldn't even need to teach it.
No, it'd be self-evident. You know?
Very self-evident.
Yeah, well, that's it. They get you with the creative arts and the wee plastic spinning toy, you know, as soon as you go into the classroom, and that's it. That's the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah. And the funny thing is, all my life, I never questioned it. I just went along with it, and just didn't even think a second thought. When it's just so ridiculous that you're living on some dirt rock in a vacuum in space on a tilt for reasons. From a Big Bang, have you heard of that bloke Lawrence Krauss? He read a whole book on how something can be made of nothing. If you have to write a whole book on something that complicated, it's probably a bunch of BS, mate.
Of course it is. It's all theoretical nonsense. These people are lauded as if they're some sort of genius, and I know they're fucking clowns. Anybody can fantasize and claim that it's true,
Oh, but Dale, I've got made up mathematics from assumptions that I could tell you that it's round. Yeah. The bullshit. The ball Earth is based off false assumptions, bullshit math theory. That's all it is, man. It's not reality, and it's so easy to see. All you got to do is open your eyes.
Yeah, that's it. You break it down.
The reason why they had to create, the special theory of relativity is because the first theory was so much a bunch of bullshit that they had to try and reinforce it with more crap.
Yeah.
Bloody Einstein. That. How long have you been a flat earther, Dale?
Yeah, two and a bit years now. I don't know what a flat earther is, but for me, it's just something.
I guess a truth seeker.
Yeah.
I've been a flat earther for about over 3 years now.
Cool.
And people don't realise, we know the round spinning ball model than even the indoctrinator do. So that's why we believe it's a bunch of crap,
Yeah, it's the people
you just can't debate it anymore because you feel stupid trying to defend NASA, trying to defend the ball. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, especially their performance over the last week there. It was so cringeworthy and embarrassing. And people are still believing this shit. It's incredible.
Yeah, shit with Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye, the bloody cringe guy. He's wonder why I couldn't make it as a comedian. He's not funny. It's ridiculous.
You start to see that every one of these characters are just fucking probably failed actors.
Exactly.
Especially these characters that are supposedly on this ISS, people who you would expect to be at the peak of physical condition. Prime examples, prime specimens of fitness and genetics. But now you've got all these fucking pie-eating sad sacks, soft pieces of shit telling you lies in front of a camera. And it's always the same bollocks. Listen to them. We do science. They keep saying stuff like that. Oh, and we've got some science to do. And you're going, what? It's like they just use that mantra, and try to convince people that they're very clever. And you're sitting going, what science are you actually offering here?
I hate it because every time I try to, get a convo with somebody about the flat Earth, I say, so what do you believe in? They say science, and then I love when they say science because I'm like, all right, swear as mate, give me the science, and they can't fucking do it.
No.
Yep. It's like using the word science isn't scientific evidence that it's true.
No, of course not.
It's a word. It's faith. You need faith to believe in the round spinning ball, and it's nothing but a cult. It's a space religion. It's a new world. It's a new space religion that's been thrown upon us.
That's it. That is a huge religion.
There's so many programs and movies and shows and for nearly 100 years now depicting space, Star Wars, Star Trek, you name it. All it is programming. No one realizes the programming that's going on right in front of their eyes.
Yeah. It's just because they're blinded by it, they've taken it for granted that it's true, so they don't look at it as programming. They look at programs that come on and the people think the program's in there when the subliminal is that part at the beginning where they're showing you the fucking globe.
Yeah, exactly.
Continually.
Especially when people like Barack Obama, in the past came up a few times and even ridiculed the flat Earth. And people are like, oh, he's ridiculed just to based it off something he's talking about, which is stupid. It's like, dude, the programming is so here's a script that it gets written for him. Why the hell would he bring up flat Earth and ridicule it unless he's trying to keep brainwashing you into thinking flat Earth is ridiculous?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is all you need is your natural observation, senses, and experience to know that the Earth is flat and motionless. And they say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Now, if you tell me no, we live in a round spinning ball, well, where's your extraordinary evidence? What, fucking pictures?
That's it. What they tell you goes against every single day observation.
Flat Earthers don't even need to use one argument because if you can't give us evidence for a round spinning ball, by default it's flat and motionless as we see. And notice all your evidence. What's your evidence, mate? It's ridiculous.
That's it. That's theirs is the claim. That's the claim we were born into. It's up to them to provide the proof for this stuff. And then they want to get antsy because people want to have a free mind and question things. And you're met with so much opposition. That it tells you anybody with a thinking critical mind would realise, look at the amount of opposition and the ridicule it gets. That tells you that somebody's got something to hide.
Yeah, and I hate the question why. and the why is so deep and so intrusive to the point where you've just like it's hard, like especially with somebody who believes terrorists did 9/11 or something, like them kind of people. There's no way in the world you could ever tell them this flat because so many lies, like satellites, you name it, into correspondence with essentially that lie. Like you've got to start off slow and look at one thing at a time and then build your way up. That's why, because I've been a conspiracy theorist or truther, what you would have called, I'm nearly 10 years now. So the flat Earth was obvious because I've known about all the rest of the lies that they've told us all.
Yeah.
And so when I heard about it, it made sense, straight away.
So if you already know that you're being lied to on one level, then that should be enough to raise your suspicion to start questioning everything, But it gets to that point for people where it's, oh no, but I know they lie and it's all corrupt. But no, that's true. Even had a chat with a pastor guy, last week or 2 weeks ago. He started talking to me, so I brought it up in conversation, and listening to the guy trying to rationalise and as a globe, and I'm saying, look, you're saying you're a religious man and your books tell you differently. But and it's the confusion in people, and to be honest with you, it's kind of sad,
Oh, it's so sad. It's bloody awful.
Yeah.
Hey, did you check out the ISS 4K live feed?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about when they were playing with the water and all this kind of stuff. The water's fucking spraying everywhere.
Well, it's taxpayer money. It's going to good F, isn't it?
Well, that's the science they're offering people. That's science playing with a ping pong. And again, they've used that opportunity to get the ball of water in. Because they know that this mantra's coming about water not being able to behave like that. So that this is part of the sophism. It's in a contrived condition, whatever conditions they've created, so that they can try and implant that image in people's minds. When you need to keep reminding people that's no, where you live. You live here in the natural environment. It's how things behave here. Know what they show you on the TV. But they use the opportunity.
Like, you could tell that you could tell there's a blue screen behind the live footage. You can clearly tell there's a blue screen. Like there's literally no detail whatsoever behind them. It was like blurry. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. They've always got that strained look in their face. I'm puzzled as to what's going on there. Are they upside down? Is there something going on with some sort of frequency? I don't know, because they're always straining and frowning with their eyes. You can see it in them. Yeah. I
mean, it'd be so dirty up there. It'd be so messy. There'd be shit everywhere. Like, but it's just nice and clean. Like they act like that their life isn't in danger. Like every second. Like seriously.
The thing wouldn't last fucking 2 days. It's extreme heat to extremely cold to extreme heat, and it's made of metal and wires and cables, and the thing would just disintegrate. It's fucking nonsense,
No shit. That's why when I debate wars, I love bringing up science, because they use science but without actually backing up with any real science. And then once they realise you're using science and not say using religion, to make your point, that they get confused and shut down. They're like, "What is he doing? He's using actual science against my science," and it confuses them.
Yeah, because you need to point out to them when they think that they're regurgitating science that it's no different than somebody from any other religion regurgitating text from their books. But because it's been accepted and claimed to be science, it deludes them in their own mind that they think that they are actually repeating science when they're not. They're repeating religious hogwash. They're repeating.
They're yet to realise that science isn't actually on their side.
Yeah.
It's pseudoscience. It's science with capital P, mate. Pseudoscience.
Pseudoscience. Well, real science is on our side. That's the thing I'm trying to say to people. Real science is on the side of the common man, if people can understand it, and then you can articulate it to these clowns that what they're spouting is no science.
Nothing but a space religion, mate.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's it, mate.
And some of their arguments are, it's like so ridiculous. Like where's it? North and South Pole. Like I've just heard so many arguments that are so cringeworthy that it's just like, before you question, the flat Earth, you've got to start questioning the ball Earth first. And once you start questioning the ball Earth, you realise, you're not going to get many answers. Yeah. It's all about taking our divinity away, taking our purpose away, making us feel like some random, microbe on a dustboard for absolutely no reason at all. And all you got to do is open your eyes and realise, intelligent design of whatever sort is obviously at play. It's so, it's so easy. Yep. Time, they bring up time as an excuse, or over time, we evolved and all this kind of stuff. You can't use time in an argument, because time is a mental construct. All there is the moment, and you can't use time as an argument for anything. No. In a million years' time, will Bugs Bunny come out of the TV and become a real rabbit?
Well, I agree.
You know?
I agree on the design aspect. Trying to find a naturalistic explanation just doesn't hold up at all. You know, so
I see us all, I see, I guess, say God as energy. It's like say you're asleep, right, and you're dreaming. Everything in that dream is powered by you. And everything. It's like and every person in this reality, everything is powered by one energy source, which I think is essentially what you can refer to as God. And when we die, our energy or soul or power source, whatever you want to call it, goes back to what it truly is. So it's like water back into the ocean. You know what I mean? And realizing what you truly are again.
Yeah, I get the concept. Yeah.
That's why I think die, is a lie, because I do believe in reincarnation, and I do believe these are vessels for an experience. Because if you were some omnipotent being of whatever sort, energy, etc., what you would do is you'd play a game with yourself, like Sims. You'd create an experience where you can learn things over again through different people. That's why I say we're all one, because we are all one by connected and powered by one energy source. And if you're this being, you would essentially, or whatever it is, you would have experiences all over again and learn things out for you with all the beings and characters that you can play.
Well, you would already know that I have an issue with that kind of thing, but if you had that kind of power, you could just create perpetual bliss for yourself. So it's there's questions for me, and I get what you're saying. I totally agree on there being designed aspects to this, but who, what, and why is still unanswered for me. But I do accept that it doesn't just come about by random chance.
Yeah, exactly. Because people say that, who created the creator and creator, like that it works that way. But people have been designed in their psyche that what time is, and there's always been a start and beginning. But I think whatever's created all this and energy, I think it's eternal. Like there's no beginning and start. It's whatever's created this all has always been, because you couldn't have something who's the creator of the creator. Just like energy or the force has always been. Like it's timeless. You know what I mean?
Just ends up to infinity. That's
there's
why.
No other way. I think there's no other way.
No, there isn't the other way. But that's why they look for these naturalistic Big Bang type scenarios where there's a beginning, and it's like trying to take people away because they can't deal with. How can you quantify or box in eternity?
But evolution and dinosaurs obviously exist. I'll tell you the evidence. Birds, mate. Birds. How cringeworthy is that? I've heard it so many times. It's like, are you serious? Birds are your evidence for dinosaurs? That's like saying a rat's evidence for a unicorn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Complete nonsense.
That's it.
That's why I love watching your videos. You going around talking to people and essentially blowing them away. With science, with natural observations and stuff, and people just don't know what to say, and it's really heartening to watch such a thing, because people just fuzzes out for a bit and they just don't know what to say.
Yeah.
They've never thought about it, you know what I mean?
That's it. That's the point. So hopefully they do go away and think about it, and even if they don't think about it then or for the next couple of weeks, as this grows and it starts to spread and somebody mentions it to them again, it will trigger them back to that thought again and they'll remember it. So
exactly. If the flat earth was so ridiculous, it wouldn't be growing, because the reality is, once you go flat, you can't go back. You just can't do it.
That's it.
That's why there's so many shills and controlled opposition, because and new shows coming out like Bill Nye versus the World, because it's damage control. It's damage control in plain sight.
Yeah.
People are waking up.
That's it, mate. That's it. And you can see them clambering now, as you say, in their actions. Even, the mainstream actors to the small fish here on YouTube, you can see the panic amongst them and the desperation that they're getting to,
Yeah, mate.
It's great to see.
You're not wrong about that.
At the end of the day, people have got a right to know what the actual truth of the matter is, and nobody's got any right to take that away from people.
Exactly.
Regardless of what it is. People can say, it might be something to protect us. Well, I don't give a fuck. We're at that point now where people are questioning, and I've always had the questions. I could never understand why nobody knew where we were and why we were here. It baffled me. So, I can only...
And one thing, we don't need is a government. And, people like, the thing is, the government doesn't exist within reality. It's not natural. It's not nature. It doesn't exist. But the only reason that the government exists, because we let it exist, because we go along with it. Us pretending it's real makes it real. And, from, the coppers, from the governments and the prime ministers, it goes up, on levels like a ladder. And if everybody complies with it, it exists. But the thing is, if everybody was like you and me, Del, like flat earthers and people who are awake, the world will change and be what we want it to be by tomorrow. Because we'll all stop being slaves. We'll all just like, instead of government taking care of people, we'll do what we're supposed to do. People take care of people, and we'll grow our own food, and because no other creature on this plane of existence has to pay their way with fake paper money for a living. We're going to pay for water, food, everything that's already there for us that we shouldn't have to have fake paper money to. It's ridiculous.
So I know these generations who gave their time and their efforts to put the infrastructures in place, so that future generations would be rewarded for it, and future generations are being taxed and made to pay for it over and over and over again. And it's just a nonsense. But it's as you say, it's the acceptance, and it's not real. It's just this imaginary stall was put out there, and people just eat from it and perpetuate and keep it going. When I keep saying that to people, it's the people who run everything. It's the people who operate the whole system. So it's just a matter of them saying, look, enough's enough. Something has to be done, and we need to change it.
Yeah, mate. But most people can't comprehend that 99% of the stuff I've been told is absolutely fake. It's not real. It's lies, and all they have to do is lie to us to make our reality, to make us believe them. That's all.
Once you get people in a mind state of making it so that it's acceptable within a mind to base things on hearsay and things that are out with your direct experience, then you have people, because that's where the game is. As soon as they can get you, accepting their education system, you get these bit parts of information about history and whatever stories they want to tell you, and your mind's trying to grasp that, and then you're trying to root yourself in it. People get patriotic to things that are nothing to do with their own experience, and that's where the trick is. It's getting people to attach to this nonsense of believing and taking things on hearsay without it being your direct experience.
Exactly. Taking authorities who's been put in place to absolutely bullshit you. Yeah. And just like people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, or our evidence for going to the moon is the amount of fuel we put in the bloody fucking rocket was sufficient enough to get there. What kind of fucking evidence is that? That's retarded.
I know.
And people believe that. Like Joe Rogan, bloody flipping on it. It's ridiculous.
That's just because he's got a figure and he mentions rocket fuel, so we've measured something. That's proof. It's no proof of the actual expedition.
No shit. It's like, the rockets. We did testing, and they can hold this amount of people. This amount of weight. So, and the amount of weight of people who was on it was exactly the same. So that's evidence, mate. Just some random garbage.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. They just throw figures out at you, try and dazzle people with numbers.
True, strange in fiction, mate.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a lot simpler.
See, what they did here, at a young age with Disney movies and stuff, and show magical stuff, just all this magical programming from a young age from Disney, right? What it does is it throws one side of your brain, it puts it in one side of the brain. So this is fantasy, and then when you go through school, learn about the red spinning ball, one side of your brain puts it in as fact. So and both of them are just as fantasy and false as each other. So you've got one thing in your brain which is fantasy, but it's in the fact side, and you got one thing in your brain which is fantasy in the fantasy side, and eventually you can't tell the difference. And when people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially when the majority of people are just going with it, so you don't think there's any reason to question it.
Exactly, and you look at your textbooks, and you realise it's all different essentially pictures. Like people say, stop using flat earth memes. Number one, memes are a good way to get across to them because there's so much memes with so much evidence, so much good points they make, but they don't realise that they've been grown up with books of memes of what they think they live in.
Yeah.
It's pictures. It's full of memes of cartoons and saying, yeah, we live here, yeah, sweet. Yeah. And we're just like, yeah, all good. I believe you.
Yeah. And this is your history. This is where you came from. This is what went on before. And then that's it. You've got a false foundation, a false reality. And deep down, people know that it doesn't make sense and it's confusion. But then at the same time, they're offering, people the shiny, and have people chasing after, rabbit holes of, these luxury lifestyles that only a few will manage to gain.
Yeah, mate. The rabbit hole is indeed deep, mate. I've done so much research on everything and anything. It's just it's incredible the amount of lies that have given us. Convincing us to bloody take shots and get vaccinated with random poisonous shit that essentially hasn't even been proven to work.
Yep.
And most people who vaccinate their kids will never admit that what they did is wrong and it is bad for you, simply because they'll have to admit child abuse and they'll have to admit that they did something bad to the kids, and so that's why they use feelings and to control people, just like Sandy Hook and all that. Or, because my mate, like I said, just watch this. It has good points about why Sandy Hook isn't real. And he says, dude, kids died. I've got in that event. I've got a young nephew. It's like, dude, use your logical mind first. Look at the event and break it down, and then come up with it's real or not. Don't just presume it's real and use your feelings to say, oh, kids, and then accept it. They use it against you. They use your feelings against you.
That's it. They're playing on the emotions of people, and people are emotionally triggered and emotionally responsive rather than logically response. Just as you say, so that the media does that very well. Oh, it's kids, so therefore you're just swayed by that emotion, so that you would feel guilty about logically thinking, is that a lie? Did that really happen? Because they've already swayed you emotionally. But you're spot on. People react. They don't react from the logic stance. They react emotionally.
Yeah. There was an event called the Sydney Siege in Sydney, Australia, and which is I looked into it enough, and it was obviously bullshit. And then one person on Facebook was saying, oh, how could you say that? I knew a friend who knew someone, and I'm like, okay, name of the person you knew who died. Give me a friend. Give me a name of the friend who you supposedly knew him. They couldn't provide nothing.
See,
I called this shit out right in front of them, and they couldn't say shit.
Yeah. So
dude, you've got to call the bullshit out.
Yeah. If you can see the flaws in it, then call it.
But hey, I've convinced my best mate of Flat Earth, which is great.
Yeah.
Because people you don't convince, you kind of lose a lot of mates.
Well, we shouldn't be trying to convince anybody. Just plant your seeds and care not whether they get it or not. If people are emotionally affected by what other people are thinking, then there's an issue. That's what I speak against all the time. So for me, I don't really care. I'm not trying to convince anybody. If I can plant a seed and make them think, then that's all I can do. I walk away happy.
The powers that be, are really smart. They play, they play two cults against each other. They play religion against scientism, and no one in scientism will ever believe something that religion says, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Yeah. And label yourself, have no labels, and try and find truth in everything. And I think that's the best way.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Because science, I believe religion, but you don't realise that your scientific round ball Earth basis is just as faith based as a lot of people's religious beliefs.
That's what.
But I really just can't understand it.
Yeah. Well, I can understand it because we can see how it happened.
Exactly, mate.
Yeah. People are born into it. They never had really a choice. Well, they do have a choice, but it's no offer to them. There's no point to it.
People just accept the reality that's given to them. And one of the biggest reasons is the why. They don't think, you never think, why would they lie? And that's why you accept it. But once you've done enough research with conspiracies and many different topics, you realise the why, and there's many reasons why, but the why is so obvious, to a point, Yeah,
well, the why we can find out, but it's for control and keeping us still. For me, you can see that completely. The whole game's about psychological and physical constraint, because for me, they don't want us finding out what is really out there.
Yeah, mate.
That's important to them. So let's hope we can find out exactly what it is and why they've been hiding.
Yeah, and if you think you live in a ball, your mind's imprisoned because you don't think there's nothing else out there. But the only thing you realise is out there is space, which you can't get to, and it's dangerous and deadly. So we'll just think about it. Oh, yeah, we're in a ball. This is all there is. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. You got all these same people who, for years in the truth movement, screaming out about disclosure. Or disclosure will happen one day. It'll be aliens. It'll be this big reveal. You're trying to say to people, well, this is it. You've believed you lived somewhere that you don't. That is the big disclosure. That is the big reveal. What else is still to come? Who knows? But stop waiting for these fucking wee green men to fly in from Mars or wherever you think they're coming from. That was just a distraction.
Yeah, the reason why they're going to keep delaying the Mars, buddy, people going to Mars, was because they couldn't fake that shit. People would call it out like a motherfucker.
Yeah, for me, they just know that they're not going to get away with it anymore. So my concern is that they're going to try and offer some other fucking bullshit, But hopefully that's not going to be allowed to happen.
Yeah, and I hate the arguments they make about how star trails move or anything in the sky, and my proof for a ball is use a telescope, mate. What they don't realise is looking up in the sky is not proof that what we're living on has curve or motion, that it's around spinning ball. What's in the sky isn't what we're living on. It's two different things, and they can't comprehend that. They don't realise that. it's you know.
No, and logic, it's illogical. It's a red herring. It's a simple analogy is, explain and measure the contents of your home by looking out of the window. It's just a total distraction. And again, nobody that I know knows what the luminaries are: the sun, the moon, the stars. Nobody does. So they start for these premises that they think they've got all sewn up and that it's actually been proven, and they start from that. And you're asking them, well, what are you observing? And they don't know. So
exactly. Sorry.
I'm just saying it's not going to offer us anything in regards to answering the question about the shape of the earth is.
And they constantly use ball of arguments, and it's like, dude, what you got to do is chuck out everything you thought you knew for what's real, and chuck it out, and then start off fresh, and that's how you're going to
start on a one-to-one basis. People are very good at repeating stuff, and you go, well, no, slow down. What is your actual experience? What is it you actually know? And get to the root of that. Without them just repeating stuff that they've picked up through their life. What is their actual experience and what are they actually offering?
Exactly. When I was younger, I went to a science place, and they had a Falcon's pendulum, and it was like vibrating, and it was like moving. Obviously, it was X, right? But it shook me because it said this is evidence, and this shows the Earth is moving, and it full shook like wow, like shit, it is moving, and it full convinced me, bro. I'm like wow, damn, like we're really fucking moving, and it scared the shit out of me because I saw this Falcon's pendulum, and I saw this like its base was like shaking. I was like fuck me.
Yeah.
I got convinced straight away.
Nonsense.
Pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I was talking to somebody from close by earlier on tonight. The more time goes on, the more ridiculous and apparent all this stuff becomes. It becomes crystal clear to the point where it's like cringe. You're cringing at it. It's such an embarrassment, and people are still deluded by it. And they're still in that frame of mind where they think they've got a grip and they know, and you're looking and going, fucking hell. The people are making it worse for themselves by prolonging it. It really is embarrassing.
It gets to a point where debating and arguing with balls. It gets to the point where, you know what, mate? Tell your best friend Alice I said hi, because you clearly still live in Wonderland, mate.
Yeah, that's it. They would rather stick to that fantasy, empty nonsense that's given to them than realise that what the possibilities are and the exciting times that we're actually in at the moment.
And the most funny thing is when there's people like, oh, the Earth's a ball and blah blah, and like yeah bullshit is, and they're like, yeah, well, there's aliens, don't you? And it's like cringeworthy. It's like they love their alien sci-fi fantasies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they show you some links about aliens, the existence of aliens. It's like, dude, you're having a go at me for believing the bloody flat Earth, and you're talking about fucking aliens. Like, mate, there's only one that can be proven, mate. The flat Earth can be obviously proven. Aliens, mate,
That's the beauty of it. That's it trumps everything else. This can be directly experienced by everybody. It's not a situation or a thing that, we can't experience. We experience it every single day.
Exactly, mate.
It's a beauty of it.
I mean, after a few beers, it does seem like gravity's taking effect, and it does seem like we're spinning a bit, mate. But other than that, I don't know. But one day they'll use that for evidence, won't they? One day we'll be so poisoned by GMOs and shots and vaccines that we'll think we're fucking being held down, and we'll think we're fucking bloody spinning. We're our asses from our shit.
Yeah, well, let's hope that doesn't get that far, mate.
Yeah, I've got me best mate. He always goes around shouting out flat Earth, to people. And I don't know if it's necessarily helping, but one girl at the supermarket he said it to. She called him an inspiration to her.
Excellent. Sorry, who was that you were talking about there?
Yeah, best mate, Anthony.
Nice one.
Yeah, he's right next to me, and he's also a fan of you.
Nice one. Say hello there.
Yeah, he said hi, man.
How you doing?
Pardon?
I'm saying, how you doing?
Yeah, you want to talk to him? Yeah, he's doing something new. Yeah.
Cool. Well, cheers, Scotty, for coming on, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, I appreciate it, bro, and thanks for talking to you, man, and I hope you keep the good work up, man.
Nice one, man. Take it easy.
Peace, brother.
Take it easy, bud.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
I've got a couple of people that are having trouble making the link good. Obviously, Scotty had a bit of a problem. So, peeps, if you want to try again, in the meantime, Pete wanted to drop in and have a quick chat. So, Pete, the link's gone out to you, man.
Pete
Shea.
Right, I'm going to read some messages here because there's a few came through. Who's in control of the world? We don't know in reality and we'll never find out. They will remain in power no matter what happens. On top, people ain't willing to wake up. They don't want to. You can tell by their persistence to refute logic, very simple logic at that. There ain't going to be no uprising or mass awakening. Look, all the things people have seen, 9/11 example, they don't need flat earth to have more than enough excuses to uprise. Well, for me, I can get where you're coming from, but being involved with it for so long and seeing how, the waves of people in all different aspects and different levels are coming to realizations tells me that there is something going on. And I can get a bit impatient and, put the dampener on it and go, it's not happening quick enough and people will never get it. But, if we maintain that attitude, you're never going to affect any change. You might as well, fuck it, it's not going to happen, so we'll just give up, let it perpetuate. So if I really thought that, then I could not keep fueling myself to keep pushing forward. Hi there, liking the Hangouts. I'm relatively new to this, but as a kid in school, I asked my teacher, looking at a globe, why the Nile River runs north into the Med and it stops the big mass of water running down the Nile. I thought I was dumb because the teacher told me it was gravity. I was never happy with this and has stuck with me for years. Cheers, Chris Jackson. Sorry, massive water running back down into the Nile, not Nile. Yeah, well, we know, man, and that's it. As I say, you pointed out with the wee man the other day, that simple common sense logic tells you, and when you have that happening, naturally, then that's telling you everything. But again, you're in school and everybody else just seems to go along with it, so and I was no different.
That's made it indeed. Hi,
Pete, how you doing, man?
Hey Del, hey Teen, how you doing? Thanks for the link. Yeah, you're dead right, Del. It's and this is what they do. The earlier they catch you, the more they can ingrain their indoctrination. The Jesuits have a saying, give me the child for the first 8 years and I'll show you the man. And I feel as flat earthers, a whole new realm has opened up for us. And I know that everyone, you have your niche. Certain people have certain areas that they cover more than other areas. And of course, it's absolutely fair enough. But I mean, there's greater issues at stake. And you and Scotty were talking about this. And of course, it plays a major role in all of our lives. And we can't just separate one thing and focus on that without focusing on something else or changing something else. And just as a thing that I think we should all do, personally, just we have to go in deep, and deal with all of this stuff that has been ingrained in us. And look, you're from Scotland across the water. I'm from Ireland here, and we've certainly lived a completely unnatural and contrived existence. You know what I mean? And we can see now that is the case. We've come to realize, I suppose, the extent of the lie, Del. If they can fake the universe, they can pretty much fake everything else. So we got to go back to real basics on all things. And of course, that's what you do to prove that the globe is dead in the water. Forgive the expression, but that's what you do. You go back to basics and you ask people to consider water. Water is a liquid and behaves in a certain fashion. How can it behave in a fashion different to what it's described as behaving? That's the definition of a liquid. It's uniform throughout, and it was always find its level. Let me just say, for me, again, it goes back to the first basic question, Del. Are we moving or are we still? You see, because if we're still, if you decide that we are still when you're moving forward in your investigation, then the ball doesn't even come into the equation. Because when we look at other natural phenomena like water, we realize that water is 70% of the earth, then we must conclude that the earth is flat to a greater or lesser degree, you know what I mean? And then we understand then that the luminaries travel around us and they're close, and all of these things then follow from the initial answer to the initial question that we are still instead of station, but they purposefully decided that we're not moving, and then you get everything else from there. And that's what I'm talking about. We have to go back to basics on every question. And when you do go back to basics, all of it's not some.
That's it. We need to get back to basics, and that's where I start my stance from. And I say that to people continually. That being a natural element, it covers the place, so we know that it's level if it's standing still, and we know that it does not conform to the exterior shape. So that's where we start from, and then we find out the rest. As regards to all these other topics and avenues, of course they're all attached, but for me, it was important to me to separate them and to keep them as their individual things and deal with them one at a time. This question doesn't need any of the others. If we can just, my incentive was I could see that distraction part where they would throw all these different topics in that would cause division and argumentation limitations because they're touchy subjects. So for me, trying to say to people back then, look, if you can remove that, you will affect people a lot quicker. Listen, guys, I tried to say, the reason that I didn't want everybody coming in is because, I'm sticking to it. One person gets 10 minutes to say what they've got to say and make a point. I'm not having, a mass conversation of somebody trying to say something and then the conversation getting detracted to some other topic. So if you're coming in and somebody else is here, then I prefer you give them the time and we just do one at a time, because the hangouts just descend into nonsense and it bores me.
Okay, well, that's cool, Del. I won't keep you for much longer then. I just wanted to relate an experience I had last weekend, and you'll enjoy this. I was just down having a little afternoon drink in the local pub, and right next to me sat two pilots. So they were just after flying in from America into Ireland, Shannon here the day before, just getting a bit to eat. So, of course, like with everyone else, I mentioned the flat earth, but they had a good conversation, and it lasted about an hour, I suppose. I'll tell you that they went home the next day when they were flying their planes, a pilot and a co-pilot, thinking about the flat earth, and they're very reasonable, very open-minded as well. The one thing I did garner, of course, they rely on the same stuff. It's the Coriolis effect. It's the optical illusions which sort of carry their preconceived notions as well. They're the same as us, and I take it that they were genuine. But yeah, all of their notions could easily be debunked and have been debunked by flat earth investigators, and I definitely gave them cause for thought about a lot of things. One of the things I did find very interesting was when I was asking him about, did you have to sort of continuously dip the nose on a continual basis over a 3,000-mile trip or something? And he said, no, he didn't actually. He said, but one thing he did say, he says that there was a sort of a constant longitudinal, latitudinal curve, to follow the great curve route. And I found that very interesting because, of course, if that was adhering to a ball, you should have this movement laterally, but you should also be going over, so it would be called a skew shape, which he never reported as well, And again, one thing he did say was that he trusts his equipment, he trusts it implicitly, and he wouldn't dream of getting on that flight for the sake of himself, first and foremost, and these passengers then, if he didn't trust it implicitly. And I think, again, that's where it comes down to education, you know what I mean? If you have a preconceived idea in your head and you're sort of applying it in practical terms like he's doing, you have no reason not to think about it. So I definitely gave them reason to think about it. And just to finish up, Del, I mentioned chemtrails as well, and they were of the contrail mind, and I didn't go too much into that. And the last thing I mentioned was 9/11, no plane, and again it ended fine. But of course, one of the co-pilots said he knew a friend who lost a wife or something. So, but otherwise, it was very interesting.
Cool.
So that's all I have to say anyway.
Nice one.
I don't know.
Cheers, Pete. Take it easy, mate. So, Laws, how are you? Gav, I know you.
I'm really well, Bill. How are you?
All right, man.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, mate.
Oh, brilliant. I've come really to prove that the Earth is a globe.
All right.
I'm only joking. Imagine how crazy that sounds. Anyway, sorry about that. I actually spoke to you last weekend. I gave you a phone call. I was on this last weekend, and finally I sorted out a hangout. So it's great that I can do this. It's great that you can connect to everyone who wants to get their say in. Going back to the first guy that you spoke to, I believe his name is Scotty.
Scotty, yeah.
Wow, what an intelligent, critically thinking young man. Like, it gives me a bit of hope, for humanity, that there are young people that have, that can think like that. I think that's brilliant. The reason I didn't call straight away is because I wanted to kind of see if anyone was going to come on to try and debunk flat Earth, but I can't imagine that anyone is able to. I mean, there is no proof,
Well, they can sorry, I was going to say they can debunk straw men, but the point is that there's nothing here to debunk because there's no claim to make. We just focus on the globe. So that's the problem they have. Sorry, man. There you go.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I mentioned to you last week that I'm going to be doing my own interviews. I bought a camera and stuff now. I've got a decent camera. I'm going to start hitting people face to face, one to one, because that's how it has to be. I mentioned before that, these internet gangsters that hide behind keyboards, they're very different if you have them face to face, You see the reality of who they are and really get into their mind. Brilliant. Just to go on to it, message for anybody who is awoken and is worried about how they're going to portray themselves or how they're going to come across to people. I think, if you start with your friends and family, that's the best thing, because you know them and you know kind of the levels of, their thought and, how you can approach it. But I find that a lot of the time when you are speaking to people, if you kind of overload them with too much information and really throw them off. And I like your approach because it's interesting because it's like, it's like planting a seed and watering it over time. And in reality, if you overflow, a seed with too much water at too much time, it does die. You kill it. So you have to be conscious of that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. But people, will throw all kinds of nonsense at you, and I hate it when people mention gravity because it's like, really, like, honestly, gravity. I was watching a live stream just before this. I can't remember the channel name, and they had like a hangout like this, tons and tons of people, and there was like 2 or 3 people in there. I'm sure they were trolled, but that were trying to push the globe thing. It was really, really interesting. So I find that people throwing gravity, people throwing nonsense they know nothing about. I was guilty of this at one point or another, and I've been through every system. So it's not like I believe in flat Earth because that's all I know. It's like, like everyone, I grew up. I went to like church and schools. I was forced to go to the Abbey. I was forced to worship, God. And then from that, I became a strong atheist. Like I was the biggest atheist you'd ever know, and I'd have long debates and arguments with people and explain. I could explain in and outs of the Big Bang and all of that nonsense. You know what I mean? Like when I look back, damn, like do you know what I mean? I think, fuck, like what did I look like? I feel that I have to go to these people that I had these debates with, just apologize because I'm doing what they're doing. And that's key, because science, your science, natural science, everybody's science, everybody's natural science is there, but yet been infiltrated by religion, in my opinion. And NASA is one of those babies they made. And realistically, all that did, me turning away from the church and looking at, stuff and the dinosaurs, don't get me started on that. I nearly died when I found out about the dinosaurs, man. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, but beside all of that, it takes you back to the same place. It takes you back to a globe. It takes you back to closedom. Do you know what I mean? Where you're insignificant. And a great point that you make is there are two mindset, and one mindset is that we were created and we're special and we're the center of every, that we are. Do you know what I mean? We are made for a purpose, and we're all special. And I do agree with that. We're all just as special as the royal family. There's no difference between any. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the other mindset that we are a huge accident and we came from this huge explosion. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, and that takes you back to we're insignificant. We're just pieces of dust. We're nothing.
Can I interject? Sorry, man. I don't say like we're special or anything like that, but I know maybe what you mean. But for me, I've still got unanswered questions. I think I was the same as you. I went materialistic, atheistic. Went with the naturalistic explanations, bought into all that kind of stuff. And then I'm at the point where I realised intellectually, being honest with myself, that it has to be a design of some sort.
Yes.
But then I could jump to say no, we're special, we're party. But then I've still got to be realistic and say, well, what if we're really still no special? And I don't mean to say that to dishearten people or put people down, but I've still got to keep open with myself that how do I establish that I'm special just because the Earth's flat? For all I know, I'm a fucking lab rat. That's a technology that's becoming self-aware. We talk about these technologies and computers that have self-awareness. That could be what's going on here for all we know, and it wasn't intended to happen. I'm not saying that's the case. What I'm saying is that I contemplate so many possibilities, and I don't rest on just saying, oh well, I'm special, and I have an ingrained hope and question that there's maybe something more, something I can understand. But I'm still a realist. If whatever the case is, I accept it. Regardless, I don't have a bias to defend. So sorry for interjecting, mate. It's just because the way you.
Opinions is what makes it important, But I didn't actually mean special like special. I just meant in relativity to us being a complete act coming from. You know what I mean? That's all.
That's a deliberately intended design.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and sorry, going back again to talking about people who want to kind of take this path and try and talk to people directly, and I think that a lot of the time people throw the biggest things that people throw at me are, why would they lie? Attacking that, I mean, it doesn't really matter at first. You need to, the evidence and proof is there that they have lied. Like, that's what you need to get your head around. Worry about the why later. You need to understand that you have been lied to. Do you know what I mean? Don't look at the motive. Look at the evidence, right? And then they say, like, how would it different? How would my life be different? You know what I mean? How would it change the way that I live if it's a flat plane compared to if it's a globe? And I just think, how can you think like that? Like, how could you think that way? Do you know what I mean? And then I don't know. I feel it's about control. Obviously that's one of the biggest things, apart from everything else with the money and stuff. But control. If you make somebody believe that they're on a sphere and that there's nowhere else to go, then you're going to stay put, aren't you?
That's the physical and the mental constraint, and then dangling the shiny, keeping people distracted. As long as they're not getting up off their ass, thinking critically and exploring, and that's what I'm saying. There's a natural explorer inquisitiveness in us, and the whole game is designed to constrain that, which tells me that there's something out there that we can find and know about that's hugely significant.
Of course,
it gives us power.
Yes, of course. And then the next thing that comes is, so what's there? And my answer is I'm not telling you what's there. If I was able to know, I'd fucking tell you. If I was able to go and explore Antarctica on my own, I would fucking do it tomorrow.
Yeah, it goes back to people needing certainty, and demanding that you tell them. You go, well, why are you so insecure with just saying you don't know? It's quite a comfortable and free position to be sitting in. You don't get any baggage.
That proof. What I can. Do you know what I'm saying? It's you go there, you get turned away, you get with guns. The military are there protecting it. You can't go. It's what are they hiding? It's obviously some shit's going down, and obviously this whole, the whole fucking globe shit, just brainwashing people. It's crazy, and navigation and all of that. We can go into all of that now. People throw shit at you, which they've read and they believe. That's the point. Belief.
Yeah. Again, it comes down to pulling people and showing, and I use it as a method just to make a point with certain people. When the people just talk and they talk, even in your company, they just talk, and you go, right, well, slow down, let's analyse everything you've just said there and see where the drivel is, because you've just repeated stuff that I know that you've never experienced, but you're talking as if it's part of your experience and part of your knowing, and people are caught up in that. It's this, all-knowing, all-wise, can never be wrong, guru-type fucking mindset, and it's just lunacy. That's why they're so uncomfortable with saying, look, we know it's not that, but we just don't know where we are or what's going on. It's like, oh, I can't have that. Give me a comfort blanket. Tell me something.
Exactly. Too much information at once. What I was going to. Too much information at once blows someone's mind. You've seen The Matrix. It's the equivalent of when Neo throws up, pukes, isn't it? Because he can't take everything that's coming in. He can't take it all at once. The same kind of thing. But
it's huge. It's your whole foundation. To have that rocked is not an easy thing to take. Psychologically, emotionally, it's a strain. But I think that's been studied. That part of the first years. I'm not going to digress into that, but I think they had to, do studies to see how the actual population are going to respond to this. Because for me, it's not going to go away. They know they can't hide it anymore, and it's just a matter of how people are going to react.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we certainly got them on the run in Scotland, that's for sure. I don't know what country they're going to next, but I hope they also fucking chase them out.
Great, I've had some Polish people messaging me saying there's a lot going on in Poland as well, and I'll repeat it again just now, sorry guys, but Veronica, if you're listening, you message me about translating the stuff, by all means, and if there's anything that any of us can do to help, just let us know. It's spreading about, but Scotland, certainly, man, it seems to be huge here.
I haven't had a lot of time in the last couple of weeks, but I was looking at some of the comments and videos and stuff, and it's great. The trolls are just getting laughed at, they don't even get a shout in, so and the views and all these other idiots are going down. So I just hope everybody does that everywhere, instead of watching and listening to all that shit, let's just start talking to each other, and using your common sense. Absolutely.
So ignore the celebrities.
I was just thinking one other alternative, of course, to this whole construction business is that the constructors fucked off, and we're just perpetuating this fucking machine and nobody's got the manual anymore, So
as I say, you can get into all sorts of contemplations with that. But for me, there's absolutely no doubt that it is a technology, whatever it is we're experiencing. Who's, why, what, and where is the questions that need answered. But for me, it's definitely a technology.
Oh, I think the only way of, we've talked about this many a time, but it's for everybody. It doesn't matter what religion, what beliefs they might have, if they still have some, just to suspend that, right? Because and just look at what we have in common, and agree on those facts. That observable reality, find that out first, and leave these questions to the end. Because I've got them too. We've all got them. I don't think there's anybody alive who doesn't think about it, right?
No. So, especially when everybody's in such confusion. There's so many divisions of religions, and nobody knowing, everybody's in bewilderment. So there's the majority of people that will be asking them these questions. But it's just like you say. That's why I say to people, I've got these burning questions just the same as everybody else. But if you look at it and look at the game, I'm trying to point that out to people. They're trying to psychologically and physically to constrain you. So if we can break free for that, then if we can go and discover what's out there, it might answer the questions of who are we and why are we here. You know what I mean? But we first need to do the exploration. We're only going to find that out if we go and explore the actual reality we're experiencing. But they want to sit here tied up in fucking new age. Oh, you're in your wee bubble and just wish the universe and it will give you a parking space and a new BMW and anything to stop you from fucking going and actually finding out what's out there. You know?
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but in mathematics, the sphere is said to be finite, right? In that the circumference has a specific length, right? But to be unbounded, because you can keep going round and round and never stop, you know? So a sphere is finite and unbounded in mathematics.
There you go.
That's another bit of sophism there. Sorry. Well, pointing out sophism. I wasn't trying to be. I am enjoying the conversation, so sorry guys, keep on. I'm making your story, man.
No, it's all good.
Laws. Is it Laws, is it?
It is, yes. Get used to seeing this boat race, because I'm going to be all over this with the interviews and stuff. I'm going to do really in your face kind of interviews with people. Not forcing anything, not making any claims, just getting people to question themselves, and that's all it's about. I think that's what I see as planting a seed. Even if they walk, most likely the majority of people are going to walk away from me thinking that guy's a fucking nutcase. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't matter, because
just keep that big smile on your face. Yeah.
I'll agree. Yeah, I'm a nutcase. How you doing? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's not about this conscious being too worried about what people think. If you truly believe what you've learned, then be proud of that. Be confident. It's there to see. It's there to see.
Yeah.
The only way to learn is to always ask questions, right? Because if you don't ask questions, then you're either staying at the level you were at, or you're expecting somebody else to tell you something. But neither of that is real knowledge, right? Real knowledge is what you have to ask for yourself, experience for yourself, and live for yourself. Discern for yourself.
That's why planting the seed's so important, because it's just a wee rope for people to cling to and do the work themselves, and that's all you can hope for.
Yep.
You can't convince anybody unless they're willing to realise it themselves, and that's the whole point. But so I look forward to the interviews then, mate. You're hitting the streets.
Man, absolutely. Yeah, out in the streets. I'm going to be in London. I'm going to be hitting London hard. So you'll see them pretty soon in the next couple of weeks, and I'll share the videos with you, of course.
Excellent. Have you got somebody using the camera for you, or are you just going to do it on your own?
I've thought about that. I think I'm going to have somebody using the camera. I'm going to do a few interviews to start off with, just with my family. I'm going to interview my dad next week. Hopefully I can see him. But he said he'd do it. Great. And just go from there. It's like, it's such a big thing now. This is one of the most biggest blown up things right now on the internet. And it's like, we need that to keep going. We need to keep growing, because we've got the mainstream to go against, and that's obviously how they've always kept control.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I know all of this information that I learned in school about all these people, and then when you really look back at history, you find out about people that they never mentioned, but just as important. And then it gets you thinking, all these people, the Einsteins, the Newtons, it's like all these people that were in the mainstream, you got to worry about.
Yeah.
And sorry to bring up, someone mentioned Eddie Bravo earlier, and I'm a bit with Eddie. I'm a bit paranoid with everyone in the mainstream, but I'm a bit like that. Obviously, seeing with what Joe Rogan did and how he flipped his script, either paid off or they kidnapped him and flipping hypnotized him. Because you know what I mean? It's crazy. The flip.
All they put him in a picture.
Yeah, all of a sudden he gets his brand new show, and then he's got Neil deGrasse Dickhead Tyson on there, and it's just like you can't trust. I don't watch any TV, none. I make exceptions for like tonight with Anthony Joshua, the boxing and stuff, but that that's just me keeping my toe in the.
Yeah, pick and choose. That's like me. I just decide. I'll decide what I'm going to watch, and it'll be when I decide. And whenever I'm the exact same man, I never watch any TV at all.
Absolutely, no, absolutely.
It's much easier to think for yourself and break free of it when you're not in touch with it.
Yeah.
See how little importance it really has to you. Whereas before, where you're watching it and you're affected emotionally and it's fueling your thoughts, and people just don't really realise how much an impact it's having on them. When you step away from it, you actually see it.
Yeah. It's a powerful thing, man. That's how they're so good. A powerful thing to make someone completely go against everything that they see with their own eyes right in front of them. That's a powerful thing. That it's from the kids. It's a bit personal to ask. Do you homeschool your children by any chance?
Well, the two youngest will be homeschooled.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I mentioned last week when I spoke to you that I feel that I was able to see the truth and admit the truth, because I feel that I didn't really do too well in school. I didn't catch on too well to things, and I was talking about my level of cognitive dissonance being quite low in comparison to people who take in. Do you know what I mean? They're clever. It's clever.
Yeah.
You know, they're even trying to get kids in school even earlier than they. Do you know what I mean? It's like you just fed that stuff before you actually have the power, you know, to be able to think critically, and you just accept it.
Yeah, it's because,
you know, everyone remembers school on the teacher's desk. There was the first thing you see was a globe.
Yeah.
It was the most fascinating thing in the world.
Yeah.
Wow, and you spin it around, and you can see where you are in comparison to anyone else. And you know, I didn't even think about why don't we fall off. But like, even if you did ask that at that age, you believe anything, and if everyone's learning it, it becomes reality to you. So that's why it's so difficult, isn't it, to turn it around?
That's
All you have to do is start.
Well, I do think, you know, parents need to be responsible all the time. You know, I think homeschooling is a one. Right, it has to be there all the time, right? I mean, you have to have time for your children at home, right, and do things with them, and you know, help them learn stuff, right? So you know, everybody has that responsibility anyway, right? I don't think necessarily all schools are always bad. You know, I mean, you know, or apprenticeships, or you know, trainees, and so I do believe that they have to be there as well. But I mean, what parents need to stop is in kindergarten, they install the computer monitors 2 feet off the ground, you know, so that the toddlers at 2 and 3 can already press the buttons, you know. I mean, that's the kind of stuff we need to be stopping, you know.
It's about screening. Parents can still take responsibility and screen and get involved with what the kids are actually learning in school.
Yep.
Remember the teachers and stuff, you know, the prim and proper, you know, little teachers, you know, they're just as much victims in the whole thing as anybody else as well, you know. But I'm sure they're just like everybody else, you know, their critical thoughts triggered, and they'll start to analyse and actually think about it. You know, it's not until it's pointed out to them.
Yeah. Once the momentum starts, I mean, everybody's got their own individual momentum, you know, and once it kicks in, right, it's like a ball on an inclined plane, right? I mean, it can't stop unless somebody actually tries to stop it, and there's not enough of them to stop it anymore, I don't think, you know. I think the momentum's, you know, such now that, it's going to be real difficult, you know, because it's a lot more difficult to stop something rolling down a hill than to be, you know, rolling down with it, right? Surfing the wave, or whatever you want to call it, you know, tripping the riff.
Incredible. But I feel there'll be some kind of reveal. It's getting ridiculous. Now they're telling us it's a pear shape. Like, what are you doing? Like, my gosh, like, what's the reveal going to be? Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but they can't keep this up.
They're going to put a big penis in space. That was that thing, that big mushroom they're going to put up.
Oh yeah.
Going to put dildos in space now. You got to throw in the sex and everything so that people keep watching, you know.
Yeah. Well, they'll be getting wind that people are just not accepting it now, so they're going to have to come up with something, you know. They'd preferably just tell the fucking truth.
Right. How about that for change, right?
Please. And for all the money that they're taking off of the average taxpayer, like this crap, man. These shitty, bad acting, CGI. It's like, Dave, give me 19 billion, give me that much money. I can create whatever you want. Do you know what I mean? I can create wherever you want. It's terrible. It's ridiculous. But we're going back to trying to awaken people. If you're speaking to somebody who already believes that we didn't go to the moon, then you know you're ahead of the game. You know, and it's about that. It's about understanding who you're talking to and understanding. You know, when people act defensive, and that happens quite a lot. You can see it behind their eyes. They just want to get out of it. They don't want to be. They don't want to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? They just want to ridicule you and go and tell one of their other globe heads.
Yeah, safe in their delusion.
Exactly.
Threatened by you busting the bubble.
Loz, can I just cut in here, please? I've got people asking in the chat for your channel. So are we looking at Loz Nethersoul?
Oh, for my channel, I've got a YouTube channel right now, but I explained this last week, and then when I listened to it back, I didn't explain it very well, so I'll try again. I've already got a channel, and it's got reactions on it, but it's got nothing to do with the flat earth. Basically, when I started taking flat earth seriously, I stopped the whole YouTube. It's like reacting to videos on the internet, all that rubbish. The Matrix stuff, leave that alone. So I'm kind of debating right now whether I'm just going to put this content on that channel or just start a new channel, which I might do. And my dad's actually helping me right now to come up with a pretty cool name for it. But if I had a channel to go to, I would tell you, but it wouldn't be relevant right now to go to the one that I'm using. So as soon as it starts,
so I'll hold off. I'll hold off on the link to that channel then, and you can update us when you've got something that's got content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll send a link to yourself. I'll send you a link to Dale. I've got his phone number. I'm on it. I'm on you guys.
Well, once you get the channel up, come on and let people know that you're there, mate.
Absolutely, brilliant. That'd be brilliant. But listen, guys, I'm going to let you guys go and get prepared. I'll keep it on in the background until the fight's on. But yeah, I love what you're doing, Dale. Love what all you guys are doing. You know, you guys, you're brilliant. Keep it up, and I'll speak to you soon. All right.
Pleasure, mate. Nice one.
Stay flat.
Take it easy, mate.
Hey, hi
Sorry.
Marshall. I never said hello.
Hi, Gav. How you doing, mate? Sorry, dude. I'm knee deep in admin here again, and I'm backed up on the links. SMA, your links out, and everybody else. Like we're doing the 10-minute thing this week, so I'm paying the links out as the floor clears. But yeah, so,
it's just much better. People, especially guys like Laws, new people coming on, you know, just start giving people the chance to speak and let us know their story. It's good. It's much better. Sorry, I've got a few messages here. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to read these out. There's one particular journalist from the BBC Radio Ulster who is totally awake to the shape of where we exist. I've also spoken to Sky, BT and O2, etc., as well as shopkeepers, health centre staff and many more peeps that you meet in the everyday life. Anyway, best telly yet, man. That's Adam Eves again. Cheers, Adam. Great, as I say, people are messaging earlier talking about, oh, people will never get it. Again, there's just testaments to people waking up every single week and now other people talking about going out and doing street interviews and stuff. Again, that will have another spiral and effect on the amount of people that they'll plant a seed in, who then go and speak to other people, and it's just, well, that's the way to do it. Grassroots. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Gav. I'm going to just keep reading these messages now while we're... Hi, Dale. It is said that 71% of the Earth's surface is water, but that is on the impossible globe model. So, because on the globe model, the area south of the equator concentrates down to Antarctica, on the true flat Earth, the area of water will actually expand outwards towards Antarctica, making the Earth's surface water near 90%, which makes the flat Earth proof even more undeniable. I must say, for anyone researching the flat Earth, it is extremely important to fully understand perspective. Nick on Phuket Word is great at explaining perspective, and so is Gav as well. Wakey put an interesting video on YouTube today showing old maps and saying we are possibly on an infinite flat plane with a lot more land. Worth a watch. Anyway, Dale, keep up the great work, Tony from Ridley. Cheers, Tony. I'll check the videos out myself. I'll get a chance. Oh, I've got a number here with 666 at the end. What's that about? Hey. Hi, Dale. Just wanted to say hi and tell you I'm still watching and really liking the way you're going about things. Loving the no tolerance approach to the time wasters. Was watching last week, but at work. At my mates watching boxing and you tonight. We'll try join in next week. Thanks for the inspiration, Dale and crew. Peace. Dan and Frenchie, wide awake in the West Midlands. Thank you very much, Dan and Frenchie. I'll be joining you soon. If anybody could let me know, because I was told that the ring walk would be 9:30, but I'm thinking it's going to be back at 10 before it's on. So I was thinking I'll go until 10 o'clock.
I've just got a mail in from Matthew, and he's in. I can't even say that, dude. He's in Poland, and he's asking if anybody wants, his contact details that we can pass them on. So if anybody wants to hook up with some Polish people, just mail to NoCurve@GMX, and we'll link you up with his address.
And again, while we're on the Polish people, just in case they've just switched on, I had a message and it was from Polish people, and I think it was Veronica, asking if she could mirror the content and translate into Polish. By all means, you're more than welcome to do so. And if we get any links out,
SMH's got the link, and so has Jason Johnson. He's linking up from Australia.
Cool.
I know. Again, people are reporting that they're having trouble making the link good. When they arrive, it's listing as off air, which is not good. But my advice to people is Loz got in on after several attempts using exactly the same link, so maybe it's just a case of trying more than once.
So what happened with this whole the hangouts were changing and we're not going to be able to do them anymore? I mean, what's happening with that? Does anybody know?
I have no idea. I think a lot of that may have been Chinese whispers. I know that something in Firefox changed. I don't know what. You're going to have to ask somebody who knows a little bit more about code. And they announced that it was going to mess things up. Maybe the Chinese whispers just accelerated from there. But we're still here working, dude.
Yeah, I kind of see why they would. scrap it if it's a service and something that people are actually using and getting benefit from. So, but
Yeah, they'll just try and monetize it, though. I think, you know, the quality of the service will be monetized, probably. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Well, I mean, some of the reports I read, Gav, were that their attempts to monetize weren't being quite as successful in the direction they wanted. So I think there was a bit of a shake-up, you know.
Yeah, well, there's a few competition, isn't there, with WhatsApp and stuff like that, right? So, but it's all the same anyway, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
just
I mean, this is still the most effective platform to use for real-time stuff, I think.
yeah. So, what about yourself, Gav? Have you been up too much? You been working on anything?
Well, I'm just doing some more academic preparation for my meetings. Yeah, so
Nice.
maybe put it that way. Yeah, just thinking of all the correct things to say and the approach to take, and so I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent. Me
Yeah,
too.
and otherwise, till then, every day is common sense day. You know, as far as I'm concerned. A water level day. Every day is water level day. Yeah, and I mean all the street reality stuff, you know. I was thinking it's so different from street theatre, you know. All the shite we've been sold, you know. Speaking to the people, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, showing them the real situation. That's I'm loving it. Yeah, and it's been, you can see people all over the world, you know, doing the same stuff, and so excellent. Can only commend you again, man, for what you're doing, Marshall, yourself.
Same to everybody, man. You know,
Cheers, man.
everybody who's involved making a difference.
Yep.
It's great to see. I've seen some of the American side of the street interviews and the activism. Again, a testament to things spreading and that effect happening, you know. So, good times. Let's hope everybody keeps it up.
Right, and the sock puppets, they all seem to be going away, you know. At least, as I say, they've disappeared from us, haven't they? Which is, I just call them sockets now. I just take the pup out, yeah. So they're just sockets, you know, like plugs.
Yeah. No, they're so transparent now. You know, they're so easy to see, and they're making an ass of themselves even more now, you know. So,
Yeah, other than that, we'll be seeing each other soon anyway, so.
very good, mate. I look forward to it. But the soccer account, sorry, mate, I just want to bring that point up, because somebody had made a comment saying, you know, I should put my comments off, or, you know, I should block everybody that's. But for me, you know, it's part of the test for people. If you're not switched on enough and aware of what's actually happening to see through it, then there's an issue. If these soccer accounts are there, but you already know the truth and you understand the thing, they shouldn't be having an effect on you. So I have that dilemma of turning all comments off, so then it looks like you're not open to discussion. And even if you're deleting or blocking, you know, I block some who are just persistent nuisances, but to get through them all, and when they're having conversations in these debates with each other in the comments, I don't get notified of that. You know, I'll get a notification of the original comment, but I'm not getting notified of everything that's going on. And I've not got time to trawl the videos and look through for, you know, all these people. The best thing I can say is if you know it, then they've got nothing against you anyway, you know?
No, absolutely. No, it just gets so easy to see, you know. I mean, a socket in a computer just listens to a conversation, right? You know, and then based I don't even think half of these people are real, you know. I mean, the stuff they can automate, you know, that makes it look as if three people are having a conversation is pretty easy, you know. And they can copy it from channel to channel, you know. So
and the good old multi-screen just manually as well, you know, and people with 5 accounts, 10 accounts.
Yep.
So
no, but I just find you know, even the people here, hi to everybody in the chat, you know, there's a great vibe still with everybody that comes here, you know, and I think that's really cool.
That's great.
And all the idiots can just fuck off. Let's chase them all around the internet.
Don't scream at the light, but all you have here is calm, rational people who are no pointing at the fingers, no wanting to witch hunt and string anybody up. Just, you know, common people with questions, wanting these questions answered, and that's it.
Right.
Calm, peaceful, respectful people. Yeah.
Speaking of questions, though, I've got several of the astrologers in chat asking if you've got a time for birth, mate. I know you said PM. I mean, well, we can work that out later on, and people can ask again.
Do you know what? If they want that information, I can get it right now, because my mother, being soppy when, you know, my 40th, messaged me saying, 7 minutes from now, or whatever it was. I might have that specific information for you right here.
I want to know what weight you wear, man.
He sent that at 8:05 p.m. saying, "Hi son, 1 minute from now is when you were born." So 8:06 p.m. or run about there, depending if she sent it at 8:04 and it didn't get here 85, I don't know. So it'll be 8:04, 8:05 or 8:06 p.m.
That's cool, dude. Well, I imagine you're going to get some paperwork in the post now, mate, because they'll be straight on it.
Aye. Does it tell me if I'm getting a new Ferrari? Right, like that. We're going to be getting Parkinson's, Job.
You might meet a tall, dark stranger, Right, I've got 3 links out, and we're waiting. So, peeps, if you can check your mail, and if you can notify me if you haven't received the link, then we're going to have to work out what we're going to do about that.
And again, if anybody wants to call or message on the mobile, it's 07393 654 544. It's been a decent wee addition, give these other people the opportunity to contact and let you know. As I say, that thing just beeps for the minute I switch it on. So no long until the trip then, Gav.
Aye. Can't wait to get the rain in my face again. Smell the sea air.
The sideways rain.
I'll definitely take a trip down the west coast.
Aye.
But we'll go to Kelvin's side first, I think. Yes, we'll put some marbles in our mouth and go to Kelvin's side.
We'll do some maths drawings on the curb.
Yes, we'll do some street reality drawings, yes. Take a bucket of water with us.
You just need chalk, mate. The Earth's water curves because look at my chalk drawing.
We'll draw it in perspective along the road so that when they're walking towards it, they can read it bit by bit. Like one of these Star Wars credits,
Yeah.
We'll see how long it takes them. We'll measure the speed, how long it takes them to realise it at the end, Do they have to read 4 lines, or do they get it in 3 lines or 2 lines, 2 meters, they had to go 5 meters, 10 meters. We'll hand out wee pins and wee badges at the end, give them wee degrees. That's mean. I was there myself. But I'd really love to wake them all up, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll get some stuff happening while we're here, mate.
Absolutely.
Prima Donna's saying, I will let you know about the Ferrari, mate.
Gav, we've got the astrologers are asking if you're interested in giving your details out for some astrological mapping.
No, I'm good at the moment, thanks. I'll maybe take somebody up in the future in that, but
cool. That's the question answered, man. But they're fairly regular guests here, so I'm sure that they'll ask again, or you'll have the opportunity to hand it out if that's what you fancy.
I've had a message from greetings from China. Keep planting those seeds, Dan. Thank you very much, Dan. As I say, it's not something I've ever looked into much, but interesting.
Hey, I liked your video with Xander. Just saw that earlier today. Yeah, very good example of common sense. We can watch it real time. Working. Yeah.
Why did you not use the other objects? Because they don't have a hole in them. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that damn sphere with that big hole in it. Yeah.
Apparently, you've not to teach your kids common sense, so I'm not capable of having a kid and I should have them taken away from me, for nurturing common sense and letting them explore the world that they're living in,
Oh, absolutely.
Funny that where people get this, what is the threat to what people want to think about where they live? For to be that threatened that somebody thinks that you shouldn't have your children, If their globe's true and they're all secure with what they know, then live and let live,
Yeah.
But it's these cult members and the cult mentality that's insecure that has to go out there and do this illogical nonsense,
Yeah, as soon as they hear certain words, they're triggered into a fear of insecurity or a fear of change, It's something that, so they're just, it's the same way we all were though, right? I mean, I don't want to deny that everybody has it, but they all need to shed it quickly like a fucking bad skin, huh?
Aye. There's a difference between, real people going through emotions and going through, whatever's going on with them, but it becomes something different when you get people to, that threatened that by what you get up to in your private life, they think they should somehow be involved in that or have a say in it. It's another level of fucking control and manipulation and insecurity that's just way out there,
Yep, absolutely.
So we'll give it 10 minutes for anybody who's got links, and I'm going to call it a short one.
So what's it? I'm not going to promote any fight, but is there an interesting boxing, is it, or what?
Aye, it's just me being selective about what I'm interested in, big height, something I want to see, so.
I'm not going to stay long either. We've got the kids at at the house tonight, so it's just me and the wife at home.
Cool. Nice
we're
one.
going to try it standing up in a hammock.
Bed early then, mate. Sit in front of the screen, scratch your ass, smoke a joint.
No, I know which one to choose. Even if I break my neck. Aye, my man, I'll leave you to it.
No bother, mate. Aye, cool. I'm going to have a wee look in the chat.
I hope somebody still comes on for a wee yatter. So.
As I say, I'm not going to be a bit long anyway. So yeah, a shorter one tonight. We'll be back to normal next week.
Right.
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you, man. See you, Marshall.
Thanks for
Nice one, Gav. Laters, mate.
Yep. Speak soon.
Appreciate it, man. Cheers.
So I'm still getting reports of people not being able to connect using the link.
Right. Well, what can I say? I've got no explanation for why that would be, to be honest with you.
No, neither have I.
Is there a few people trying to take it?
Well, I've got 3-4 links out, and I've got 2 replies saying that they can't connect. So we've seem to have gremlins in the pipes again this week. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Jonathan Doherty, religion is dangerous. I think encouraging, a mind to adopt belief and faith in things is dangerous. Yeah. Dale, we know more when we are at that age. Sorry.
Jay Johnson's made it in, dude. Hiya.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good, dude. If you can mute the watch page, that's probably going to help a bit. But yeah.
Of course. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm cool to join you guys.
Hey, how you doing, Jay?
Yeah, love you. Yeah, I'm just really excited as to where this is all going. I like to just say that in this flat Earth movement, highly intelligent, and I really like that. It's good for a change. It's been a lonely road for me, just learning about humanity, and just coming across the flat Earth. I've sort of been looking into it for about 7 months. The first stuff I came across was the Eric Debay stuff. I caught onto it straight away. Just knowing that we've been lied to on so many levels all through our lives, it's easy to see the truth, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my main interest is how to spread the word. Actually, not so much spreading the word. Actually, I think the word's out, and it's going to spread like wildfire. What I'm interested in is actually coming together and doing some shit that makes people go, well, hang on, what the fuck this is awesome what they're actually doing. Like, a lot of us are scientists in our own right. The way we think, how we understand the world, it would be easy for us to come together and come up with some shit like music, or, anything like that. It doesn't have to be about flat Earth. Just do it better than what we see. And I think that, it's been my experience that everyone I've spoken to, they believe me straight away because I talk to them about other things, and they see that I grasp things really well and understand things really easily. And so I just say, oh, well, by the way, the Earth's flat. They just go, what? And they just listen to what I have to say about it. So that's not a problem. And I get around and make comments and stuff on people's uploads and on their channels and stuff. And I like to think that even some globeheads have changed their ways, changed the way they think just by having a yarn with me.
Good.
Quite often, yeah. And sometimes you get ganged up upon, but quite often that just ends. They stop because they don't want to go any further. Well, another thing, I'd like to just, for those who aren't aware, we've been placed under a scientific dictatorship, and we've been told lies and stuff. We're the most understood species on the planet to some. The minority, you like to call them, Del, I believe. But they understand how we think and everything more than we do. So it's a scientifically developed system, the education system and the family unit and just the way it works. Really, we're talking to people who are just brain dead, and there's no way they can grasp it, really. They can't play ball. They don't have the capacity.
No.
And this is what we're dealing with. So I really do think that if we can get together and, as a community and actually do some amazing shit, aside from flat Earth, inventions, just all sorts of stuff, because I know that we have the capacity to understand the world around us, simple to us, and we don't need to go and get a degree to understand all this shit.
No.
And I think that would go a long way to not just spreading the word, but actually so that it's impossible to deny who are the ones that are critical thinkers, who are the ones that are moving forward, who have the capacity to make people in this world. That's where I'm at.
That's the same for me, mate. It's just getting enough people, enough to outweigh that minority, be, you know, a critical thinking people, as you say.
Yeah.
And whatever, you know, if you've got ideas, if you get projects that you're working on, or you need any help, then by all means you can come on and let people know about it, mate.
Well, it's great. It's not easy, but I mean, I am working on something. It's an idea I had a few days ago, actually. I'm working on a alternative launch just to get up to high altitude. I mean, obviously, money is a huge thing, and having people who specialize in certain aspects, sort of thing. But that's something that I'm working on. Understand that that's probably a dangerous thing to be pursuing, because, you know, the nature of media and the way people can be painted in a negative light instantly, and people believe it instantly. You know, you can imagine if a group of people up high into, you know, not space, but, you know, way up there, and using technologies that may not be understood, or, you know, it's quite easy to, you know, like the powers that be would quite easily just turn around and say, oh shit, look what they're doing, let's shut them down, bang. So sometimes it's not as easy as just making something and doing it. There's one thing to fly a drone, there's another thing to send something up that high, or for instance, make something that and find out where the edge is. And I doubt there is an edge, but you know, and really, yeah. So, speaking to some people that you know, on the same level, and throw some ideas around, and I've got a few things that I specialize in. I'm pretty adept in psychology, and I know what makes people tick. I could spread the word pretty quickly, given the opportunity.
Well, cool, man. If you get stuff there that you want to share, then by all means you can come and share what you've got. Have you got a channel? Have you got a channel?
No, but at some point I will. I'm the type of guy that likes to have all my ducks in a row before I do anything.
Cool.
So, but yeah, it's coming, and yeah, I feel like I know the community. Like, I could tell a lot by how people talk. So, you know, I could tell a shill a mile away. I don't even like that word shill. I mean, you know, I just put it. I commented earlier in chat about how people say, oh, they're disinformation agents and da 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 da. I just pointed out that misinfo could be a better way to put it, because as in mistake. Like, we're all human. We make mistakes. We can have a lot of truth, and then we have 5% where we go a little bit off the rails. And then you have these people who turn around and say, oh, shill, you know, or misinformation. But I feel like I'm talking too much, but
that's all right, mate. It's all right. I've just got another guest coming in, so I'm going to be in soon. So, Jay, if there's anything, you know, we can do to help, if you get stuff that you want to share, you're welcome to come back on and do so, mate.
Awesome.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Alrighty, thanks. Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Okay. Keep up the good work, man.
Take it easy, mate.
Okay.
Take care. Cheers. Brian, how you doing?
Hello, man.
Yeah.
Brian, can we have a mic check?
Hello. Am I in?
Yeah, Brian, you have to turn down the watch page. If you're watching it on YouTube, you have to put the volume down on the video.
Gotcha. First time I've done this.
Cool.
Now we cool?
Yeah, great. How you doing?
Hey, Dale. How are you?
I'm good, man. You?
Yeah, I'm really well. Thanks.
I'm very interested in that wall at the back of you there, man.
Oh, yeah, you're in my shop. All my guitars. I do guitar work. It's what I do for a living, man, in my basement. Build guitars, work on guitars. I know you play guitar, right?
Nice one.
Cool. Excellent. Nice. Yeah, I just wanted to hop in and try this. I had never been on a Hangout, so I just kind of wanted to get it going, and I appreciate you letting me on real quick. I didn't know if you saw that video I did in Denver where I went down and did some street interviews at the...
Of course. I knew I recognised you there. How you doing,
yeah,
man?
Right.
Brian's one of the guys I encourage you to check out. That's the channel name, isn't it, Brian?
It's actually X-Heliocentric.
So it is X-Heliocentric. That's the channel.
Right. Yeah. Just a small little channel, but yeah, man.
Marshall, could you put a link in the chat if that's possible?
Yeah, just searching it now, dude.
Nice one.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I thought it was great, man.
Yeah.
Some balls getting in amongst them, you know, because it was that science march, or was it?
Yeah, you know, it was Earth Day, so it was and quote on, you know, they were kind of tagging on the March for Science or whatever. Yeah, I called it the March on Science, right? Yeah. But yeah, March for Science. So yeah, I went down there to Civic Center Park, and you know, encouraged by everything you've done and watched your stuff, and so kind of channeling you and everyone else out there who's done it. And I got up in the morning and I almost forgot to go down. I was like, holy shit, I'm going to go down there. And I went down and, you know, just took my phone, went alone and ran around and just kind of attacked people a little bit, you know, but I tried to use a little bit of of course, I was using a lot of your lines and other people's lines. And I've been into this for a couple of years, so I didn't really have any notes or anything like that. I had a t-shirt on. I had like an IFERS t-shirt on, you know, and yeah, just started asking people. And I was pretty surprised that, you know, people are in good moods and, you know, they listened to me at least for 4 or 5 minutes. So yeah. I was like, okay, you know, why not? And after the first couple interviews, you know, I was super nervous at first, and then I got kind of into it, and I was just having fun, and nobody punched me or anything like that. And, you know, it was fun, you know, it was like, wow, this is fun. I've done some, you know, active stuff back in the day politically and stuff, so it wasn't totally new to me, but, you know, going into a science gathering and telling people the world's flat, or at least to think about, you know, where they are, was pretty interesting. It was fun. So I thought I got some good responses, and, you know, who knows, maybe I made some people, you know, think and scratch their head on the way home. I saw some people.
There was definitely a few I could see. There was a kind of younger girl in particular. She was, you know, paying close attention to what you were saying. But again, it's a testament to how, you know, civil people are when you meet them in the street and you speak to them face to face, you know?
Yeah. It's like you had said, and I've heard you do, you know, it's true. It's, if you go out there and do it, it's amazing. And you get off of this internet stuff, people behind the keyboards and things, and people are, you know, they're cool. At least, you know, they might laugh at you and just walk away, but that's about it. But mostly not really, you know, that it went really well, I thought. And so I even was going home and finally out of there, people were packing up, and I saw a couple of people like that anarchist table, that one guy I was talking to for a while, and he was kind of into it. I thought I had him because he was all about, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson and, you know, I love fucking science on there, and he was bashing it all, and I'm like, cool, I might get this guy. But then of course he turned out to be the guy who's like fighting me the most, you know, he wanted to prove gravity and all this stuff. And then I went back past him like half an hour later, and he was just sitting on a bench like this, like looking at the ground, just staring. I was like, uh-oh, I got him. So I don't know.
I seen that because he was acting like he was a free thinker and against the, you know, established, and but yeah, when it came to that, oh no, that's true. It's funny stuff.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you guys are anarchists, you know, what the hell? I mean, go all the way, right? You know, what's stopping you? But so yeah, man, I just had fun. I just wanted to come on and say, hey, I listened to your videos and watch these hangouts and stuff, and you know, hey, you inspired it. I think you're on the right course, you know, as far as, and other people out there too. Like, you got to get out there, you know, you got to get off the tube every now and then.
Seeing people like yourself doing the exact same inspires me on even more, mate. You know, and it's a chain reaction. So I encourage people to check out X Heliocentric, your channel, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
just been on there for, I don't know, going on a year, maybe in June or something like that. So I finally, you know, started a channel just because I wanted to participate, put my voice out there, you know, just be another one on the, you know, out there in the world saying, yeah, it's flat. And I do it, you know, personally. I tell people I'm not a closet flat earther at all. You know, I stamp all my money, and, you know, I tell people, you know, I've even got my money back. You know, I've picked up a $1 bill and been like, hey, there's my stamp. Sweet. So, you know, I don't hide it. I've been through a lot of crap. And so, you know, I'm old enough now that I don't really care what people think. So I even got my girlfriend pretty much convinced at this point too. So, you know.
I think that's important. You need that ability to say, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me, you know?
Right. And it's so easy. And what baffles me about it is, and it always baffles me, is just, you know, and you've been through it and everyone has, it's just how bad the responses are, how bad the, you know, whatever, the people who are, you know, clinging to the globe, what they go to. And it's like, really? It's 2017. They want to talk about the Greeks. And it's like, you know, if you showed up in ancient Greece with your cell phone working like it is now, you'd be a god, you know, you'd be a grand oracle. There'd be books and statues of you, you know, holding your iPhone, like this guy came out of nowhere and he knew everything, you know. And it's like, hey, it's a modern world. It's 2017. This thing's going to crumble. It has to crumble just from, we can just see it. You know, we can communicate. I'm in Denver and you're in Scotland, and, you know, it's just too hard to hide it. I mean, you know, so I wonder about, you know, is it a controlled release? Is this, you know, whatever? Are they going to switch the paradigm on us slowly or whatever? I don't know. I think we just have to get ahead of them, whatever is going on, you know. So
we need to be critical,
you know,
analyse everything. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed you there, but
I'm just saying, no, you're right. We need to remain critical of, whatever they offer.
right, yeah. So that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to keep you too much, but I did want to just give my hat tips to you. I know, I kind of made a little joke at the beginning of my video. I said I might break into a Scottish accent. But it wasn't a crack, man. It was a tip of the hat to you and what you do. And I love watching you out there. I mean, you're like the marathon man. You're going out there 45 minutes, an hour with somebody, and I would do an interview and I'd look down at my phone to see how long the video was, and I was like, wow, that was only 4 minutes. It felt like an hour, but I was just hitting and sticking and moving, man. I was going, okay, now I'm going to go over here, now I'm going to go over there. I mean, it's a situation where you could just turn around and start all over again because you were surrounded by people, so it was an interesting situation. So maybe I'll do more where it's less people, more long-winded, kind of really try to convince somebody instead of just throwing info and trying to just rock their world really quick and then running away. But hey, man, so I appreciate all you guys, man. It's been fun watching. So I don't want to keep you. I'm sorry.
I'm saying same to yourself, Brian.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
Respect.
Excellent. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than it was fun and I kind of got the bug. So I'll probably be doing it again somewhere, somehow. I don't know when, but
I'll look forward to it.
I'll go back out there for sure, man.
Excellent.
I mean? Cool.
Nice one.
Well, all right. Well, I'll let you guys go. Have a great day. It's snowing here. So much for global warming. 5 inches of snow on the ground.
It's actually dry here for a change.
Yeah. We could use all the moisture we can get. So we're up here high and dry in the mountains.
Cool. Well, again, Mike, thanks very much for coming, man. Appreciate it, bud.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, and maybe someday again when I get another video, I'll come back on and we'll talk about it. But
anytime,
I'll be staying tuned.
Anytime.
I don't know how to, excellent. Thanks, Del. I appreciate all you guys. I don't know how to get out of here. You can cut me off because I don't know.
You just hit the wee arrow and it will say leave or reject.
The green arrow. I'm not sure. First time I've done this. Wow, leave call. There I go. I think I got it. Peace, you guys. Take care, Adele. All right, you guys.
Cheers, Brian.
Right on. Cheers.
Cheers.
So I've got a queue of people asking for a link now, and I know it was going to be early doors tonight, so I think we're going to be apologising a little bit there for everybody that didn't make it.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. As I say, I was just going to keep it a short one tonight, but we're back next Saturday. I don't know, I'll see maybe about another one through the week, but I'll put an advert up for it. But I apologise to anybody who was trying to get one.
In the meantime, people, if you've got some activism vids that you want hosted or mirrored, you can just mail us at flatearthactivism@gmail.com or go visit the channel. Be inspired.
Nice one, mate. So Marshall, thanks, mate, for the night. Thanks to everybody who came on. Appreciate it as always, and everybody who's watching and in the chat. Peace, people.